Hey, I'm Alex, and I have to confess that one of the biggest bottlenecks I run into isn't having ideas, it's getting them out of my head fast enough to actually use them later. You know that feeling when a great thought hits you while you're walking the dog or watching footage, and by the time you unlock your phone, the spark is totally gone? So today, I want to walk you through 3 completely different ways to capture those fleeting ideas and turn your long-form content into bite-sized, shareable clips without needing any heavy setup. I'll show you a fully native iPhone trick, a slightly more power user hack that mixes transcription and notes, and then the smoother, creator-first route using a dedicated tool. Crucially, I'm not here to just plug one thing, because I'll show you the trade-offs so you can genuinely pick what fits your specific workflow best. If you absolutely love keeping your creative toolkit as minimal as possible, you can actually accomplish a surprising amount using just Apple's built-in apps. The core idea for this first method is beautifully simple. You record, transcribe, summarize, and then stash everything away. For this flow, you'll be leaning on the Voice Memos app, the Shortcuts app, and the native Notes application. Best part? There are absolutely no extra downloads or new accounts you need to create. The setup involves opening Shortcuts and creating a new one that first records audio, transcribes it, and then saves a short summary directly into Notes. You can even optionally configure it to ping ChatGPT if you want a much tighter, more refined summary, but you can skip that and rely solely on Apple's built-in transcription. Make sure you set the recording to start immediately and to end only when you tap it, choosing normal audio quality to keep those file sizes from exploding unexpectedly. Then, you wire the raw transcription output directly into a summary action within that same shortcut. Finally, save that resulting summary into a dedicated notes folder that you might name something like Idea Clips for easy searching later. Rename your shortcut clearly and add it right onto your home screen for that satisfying one-tap access when inspiration strikes. This entire sequence works really well for capturing super quick thoughts in the moment. You just tap the icon, talk for a little while, stop the recording, and boom, your transcribed idea is securely stored. This process involves no code, no external cloud services beyond what Apple already handles, and it feels pretty immediate when it works. However, there are some very real limits to this pure native approach. The main problem is that the Shortcuts record action will immediately die if your phone decides to auto-lock, which can unfortunately cut a short 30-second note right in half mid-recording. Of course, you could disable auto-lock completely, but honestly, who wants to do that just to capture an idea? Guided access is technically an option to prevent locking, but in my experience, it's always a bit too fiddly to rely on daily. So yeah, the native-only method is clean, private, and fast for voice, but it's surprisingly fragile for anything longer than a quick burst, and it offers zero help in finding the best parts of a long video. It's excellent for capturing raw ideas, but it won't actually turn a 20-minute video into a set of post-ready clips on its own. Moving on to method 2, if you're looking for genuine reliability, especially for longer recordings, you should definitely use voice memos for the heavy lifting. The great news is that modern iOS now automatically transcribes your voice memos, and getting that transcript onto your clipboard is quite easy. The real trick here is to record freely inside voice memos. You can even lock your phone screen while it keeps recording in the background. Once done, just tap into the recording, copy the full transcript to your clipboard, and then run a separate shortcut that pastes that clipboard content into an AI summarizer. You can use ChatGPT or even Shortcuts' built-in summarization action for this step. Then, drop that final summarized result into Notes, Notion, or wherever else you prefer to manage your growing library of ideas. The reason this whole setup is so neat is that Voice Memos reliably runs in the background even if your screen locks, completely avoiding that frustrating Shortcuts timeout problem we just discussed. Plus, you get a legitimate, accurate transcript without having to record anything using external gear or apps. From there, you can easily automate that final summarize and save step once the text is copied. If your goal is distribution, you can even add a Notion create page action or set up an email action that sends a brief digest to yourself automatically. It's definitely a flexible system that bridges the gap. The main downside is that it remains semi-manual because there are still a few distinct taps required. Start voice memos, stop it, manually copy the transcript, and then run the summarizer shortcut. Also, while the system transcription is good, it's not always perfect, so you'll still need to occasionally glance over longer notes to fix minor errors. Crucially, if your main goal is to produce lots of short clips from long videos, this approach still leaves all the actual creative work, like finding the punchy moments, trimming and captioning it, entirely up to you. So, if you are creating content only occasionally and prefer keeping everything on device for privacy, this middle ground solution works really well. But if you are trying to scale up and regularly post multiple short clips from long footage, you're absolutely going to get burned out doing that semi-manual workflow a dozen times a week. Alright, now let's talk about the solution that genuinely changed how I personally produce my content, Vizard. If you are a creator sitting on hours of long videos, think interviews, deep dive podcasts, or detailed tutorials, and you desperately want to turn them into a steady stream of short clips without the repetitive grind, Vizard is engineered to solve that exact problem. Here is what this third option does differently and precisely why it matters for high-volume creators. First, Vizard offers automatic editing for finding viral clips by using AI to scan your long videos and intelligently pinpoint the parts most likely to perform well. It looks for moments with high emotional spikes, clear punchlines, quotable phrases, or strong hooks that grab viewer attention immediately. Instead of you scrubbing through an entire hour of footage just to try and locate the 5 best 30-second chunks, Vizard does that heavy lifting in minutes and delivers you ready-to-post clips. Second is the auto-schedule feature, where you simply pick how often you want clips to go out, and Vizard queues and posts them for you automatically. This means once you've uploaded a long video, you can actually lean back while the platform systematically drips content to your social channels according to the cadence you choose. It completely removes that tedious manual post-by-post scheduling grind that eats up so much time. Third, you get a centralized content calendar where everything lives in one organized place so you can easily review, tweak, and approve every single clip before it goes live. If you love to batch produce content but still need final creative oversight, the calendar view makes it simple to adjust captions, swap out a week clip, or change posting times without jumping between half a dozen different apps. Now, how does this compare to methods 1 and 2? Simply put, Vizard doesn't just capture ideas, it actually scales the execution of those ideas. Method 1 and 2 are fantastic for capturing raw thoughts and accurately turning your voice into searchable text, and they are private and lightweight. But they fail to do the creative filtration step. They won't automatically identify the truly snackable, potentially viral moments for you, which is exactly what Vizard is built to do. Compared to doing all that clip selection and scheduling manually or semi-manually, using a tool like this saves you genuine hours and actually increases your output without increasing your actual workload. And when comparing Vizard to other third-party editors out there, it is specifically built for creators who prioritize both volume and consistency in their posting schedule. Some tools are either too expensive and require tons of fiddling, or they only focus on simple trimming and completely miss the crucial scheduling component. Vizard combines smart, AI-driven clip selection with automated scheduling and a management calendar, the 3 core parts of distribution that most creators forget to automate. I'm certainly not suggesting you have to immediately dump every single tool you currently use. Here's what my actual personal workflow looks like, and it might give you some ideas that match your current needs. First, I capture all my raw content, which means recording interviews, long-form streams, or just quick voice notes on the fly. For those immediate on-the-go ideas, I still rely on that simple voice memos plus shortcut trick because it's lightning fast and completely private. Next, I upload all the resulting long videos directly to Vizard, either from my desktop or straight from cloud storage. Vizard then immediately analyzes all the footage and highlights multiple candidate clips it thinks will perform well. Then comes the review and tweak stage where I quickly skim Vizard's suggested clips right within the content calendar interface. I have the power to tweak the start or end points of a suggested clip, quickly edit the auto-generated captions, add relevant hashtags, or even swap in a custom thumbnail if needed. After the review, I set the auto-schedule frequency, maybe twice a week, maybe daily, whatever fits, and Vizard queues everything up perfectly. If something looks slightly off later, I can always jump back into the calendar view to reschedule or replace it quickly. For written repurposing, if I need a full summary or show notes, I'll pull the transcript directly from Vizard or export those finished clips to a separate Notion database. This way, I still get my searchable notes and long-form text content while letting Vizard handle the heavy lifting of clip selection and primary distribution. I completely understand that you don't want some hard, in-your-face sales pitch at this point. The true point here is purely practical. If you are constantly making long videos and you want a consistent, reliable stream of shorts without turning yourself into a one-person post machine, using a tool that actually finds the viral moments and schedules them is a massive time saver. If, however, you only make the occasional video, or you are fundamentally privacy first and need everything to remain strictly on device, then the iPhone only or voice memos approaches are perfectly fine for you. But if you are posting daily or seriously trying to grow your audience online, using Vizard moves you from making one-off content to implementing a genuine, repeatable system. As a few final tips, remember this simple breakdown. If your absolute top priority is privacy, stick to voice memos paired with local shortcuts for any quick ideas that should never leave your phone. If reliable recording for longer takes is more important than anything else, use voice memos and the clipboard shortcut summarizer to completely avoid any screen lock interruptions. And finally, if your main goal is scale and content volume, you should hand the video over to Vizard and let it manage the heavy lifting of clip selection, scheduling, and calendar management. Okay, that covers the complete breakdown. 3 distinct approaches: the raw and native method, the semi-automated middle ground with a little AI and clipboard magic, and the creator-first automated flow powered by Vizard. Ultimately, you need to pick the one that best matches how often you create, the amount of creative control you demand, and, critically, how much time you are willing to spend on the daily scheduling grind. If you'd like, I can certainly walk you through building the exact shortcuts I mentioned, show a step-by-step voice memos to notes automation, or give you a quick Vizard onboarding session so you know exactly what to do when you upload your first long video. Just drop a comment below or hit me up directly, and I will plan to post the next detailed tutorial very soon. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire breakdown. Now please go capture that brilliant idea before it completely disappears into the ether.